Okay, welcome to the Tahoe Expo 2011. It's a geotourism showcase to help you enjoy the lake without harming it. If you're staying down in the South Lake area, these activities are going to be set up all around the lake, hosted by organizations that are working on different aspects of trying to help keep this habitat clean and clear. So I'm going to run through the 12 activities that are going to be showcased at this expo, and I'm going to do them in itinerary form so that you can see, if you're in a certain place, what you could take in together. So if you're down here in South Lake, you might want to start to go over to the State Line Transit Center, which is where California and Nevada meet, and there's Explore Tahoe is right there. You can start there, and Sean will be there, one of our docents will be in Explore Tahoe, and he will help you while you're waiting for Maria to come pick you up, who will take you a quarter mile to the start of the Van Sickle Trail. The Van Sickle is the first bi-state trail to, it's being connected up to the rim, but it's just opening, so this is a brand new opening. You'll get to premiere it, and you'll get to see the sugar pines, the largest conifers in the basin. They're a threatened species. They go 100 feet up into the tree to get the pines and see if their seedlings are adequate for planting and bringing this tree back in, which is critical to water clarity. This is an hour. Each hike will take about an hour. It'll be about a mile back in on the Van Sickle Trail, and it'll be all hosted, and they will start at 9 o'clock. There'll be one at 10:30 and another one at 1 o'clock, and that's all from Explore Tahoe. Then from Explore Tahoe, you can catch a bus that goes up here, the Kingsbury grade bus that goes up to Stagecoach, and there you can do at Daggett. They're building the trail right here that is going to be connected to the Van Sickle, from the rim to the Van Sickle. This is, you can do an hour starting at 9 a.m. You can do an hour of trail building, or you can do the whole 4 hours from 9 to 12, and this is available from the Blue Ghost Stagecoach route right up here, and there'll be docents to meet you at the transit stop and take you over to where the trail building is happening. Then you can, if you just do a taste of that and a taste of the sugar pine, you would have time to go down State Line and hit the historical history hunt from the early time when the pioneers and the native people were here. And this is right off El Dorado Beach. Again, the Blue Go on your way to the Y would stop right here, and it's the Historical Museum, and it's right off the Historical Society is doing a little history hunt through the pioneers. So this would be one itinerary that you could do. You get a little bit of culture, a little bit of restoration, and a little bit of understanding hiking and understanding the wildlife. The next itinerary would be, you would take a westbound Blue Go bus and get off at the Tahoe Keys. And from there, a docent will meet you at the Tahoe Keys and walk you down a mile, the Tahoe Keys Boulevard, which is off the Blue Go route, and walk you a mile over to Cove East. It's a marshland where the mouth of the Truckee River that enters the lake is right there at this marshland.
Really?
And this will be an amazing, the Tahoe Institute of Natural Science, Kurt Hardy is going to meet you there. Tom will meet you at the bus stop. He'll drive you over to the entrance of where Cove East is. There's an eagle's nest. All kinds of rare birds are there. And they're also looking to host, if you're a kayaker, this is how you would blend an itinerary. They're going to take people, because the lake is 3 feet higher than normal right now, and they're going to take people up into the mouth of the Truckee River through the marshland for an hour kayak adventure. And so you'll get to see the birds, bring your binoculars and your cameras, and then you can jump in a kayak and go up into the mouth of the Truckee, which is very rare, but it's happening this year because the lake is so high. So that would be one amazing itinerary that you could do right there. And this is all available, Blue Go Tahoe Keys. Then, if you want to get into wildlife and habitat, you could take the Nifty 50 from the Y, after Blue Go, take the Nifty 50 and get off at PDQ Market. That's over here on the west shore. A docent will meet you, and about a quarter mile at Chamberlain Landing, the Bear League will be hiking people back into bear habitat along a creek in a private area that's never been done before. This is where the bears, the only place the bears live where they can get to the water without being hit, because it goes under the highway. They're going to be taking some supplies back into this area where they do a lot of research on the bears. It's very uninhabited, so the chances of being able to see a bear are amazing. It's going to go at 9:30, 11:30, and 1:30, led by Ann Bryant and her docents there, and there'll be someone meeting you at PDQ Market. So this itinerary, you could continue from the Nifty 50 ends at PDQ, but the TART picks up. The TART is on this side of the lake, and there you could grab for a two-thing itinerary. You could go up to, what happens when I wash up? to take the Tahoe TART, well, okay, I'll use it again. Okay, take the TART and go up here to Tahoe City, get off at the Fanny Bridge bus stop, and walk right across the street on the Fanny Bridge bus stop, or if you're on this side, yeah, you cross the street and you'll see a museum right here by the lake. Right. And this museum is where they have baskets, 1,500-year-old baskets are in this museum. They have hundreds of baskets from native tribes that inhabited the whole western part of Nevada and California. And they have a basket that's so small you have to look through a magnifying glass. It was woven by Datsuwal Ali, the world-famous Washoe basket weaver from the ecosystem of this area. This will be an amazing tour. You'll get to see the beaver tree. There'll be docents there to meet you. There's a beautiful place to have a picnic and lunch by the water. So this would be a nice itinerary right here. And there may be some stand-up paddle. We're not sure yet. Another itinerary to do is if you're staying anywhere over in this area, you could take the TART and you could come over here to Incline, get off at the Hyatt bus stop and Incline, and right across the street from the Hyatt, you'll see a parking lot and a green grass with a lot of activity. And what that will be is, actually I'm gonna have to back up. I forgot something important. So back down here, if either with the bear activity, another one you could do is take the Beluga again and get off. It goes right into Taylor Creek. The 50 westbound Beluga will go right into Taylor Creek. It's up here off almost past Camp Rich. It goes in, and in Taylor Creek, the Lahontan trout are the native trout of Lake Tahoe, and they were fished to extinction in the early 1900s. They've reintroduced them, they've been incubating them, and they're releasing them this September into the lake for the first time in 100 years. This is going to be phenomenal. You'll be able to see the virgin migration voyage of the Lahontan trout going back, and these trout were this big. They were huge, and the fishery collapsed in the early 1900s. This is a monumental restoration project of the U.S. Forest Service working in concert with the species program here.
And they have specific times that they're doing that?
They have specific times starting at 10. 10, they'll go the little rainbow walk. It's handicap accessible. And like I said, the bus goes right up to the center. You just go in the center. The docents will meet you there. And it's handicap accessible about, maybe it's a mile hike. It's a 20-minute interpretive walk, 30 minutes over to watch the fish go in. So the whole thing will be about an hour. So they'll be doing them at 10, 11:30, and 1:30. Now, up in the north, you would take the TART and there's two ways you could do it. You could either get off at the Starbucks right in Incline Village. In the middle of town on Village and Highway 28 is Starbucks. You go into the Starbucks building and there's a museum, a historic society museum that's from 1860 to 1960. All about the bonanza, the Ponderosa, how Incline Village was formed up from a napkin in a bar. Two guys in a bar, drunk, formed up this whole idea of this gated community. And then how Bonanza, the history of Bonanza, how it set our country on track for a civil rights movement. Very interesting stuff over there. Then you can take a half-mile walk down to the Village Green, or the TART bus stops at the Hyatt. You could pick up the TART again at the Starbucks right there, take it back down. It'll go over here to the Hyatt right here at Country Club and Highway 28. There's going to be multiple activities. This itinerary is very full. This is where we're taking the FAM tour. First of all, UC Davis and Turk and IVGID and League to Save Lake Tahoe are coming together to do Forest Health Stewardship Day. There'll be activities for the family on the health of the forest, things that you can do, along with creek monitoring. Right next to this, the creek, Third Creek, there are going to be UC Davis scientists out there with the League to Save Lake Tahoe, taking the temperature and monitoring the clarity of the water, and they'll show you how that's done from a scientific standpoint. It's really interesting. Then you just walk up the lawn over to Sierra Nevada Business College, which is right on the other side, about a quarter of a mile up, and you can go into the Turk building and see a 3D movie. It's a 15-minute 3D movie of how the lake was formed up. It takes you through about 20,000 years of the history of the lake in 15 minutes. It's very cool, and you have to put on glasses to see it. Then you walk across, about 20 yards away is the butterfly garden. Tahoe has a butterfly garden, and Leslie's going to take you on an amazing little 30-minute tour. This will be running every half hour. This will run starting at about 10 a.m. and the tour will start at 10:30, and this will start at 10, 11:35, and 12:15 at the butterfly tour. And this is right on campus at Sierra Nevada College, and there's a cafeteria right there if you wanted to have some food. This whole package would be a really nice itinerary that you could do by walking. And then when you're done, around 2:30 or so, you can take the water taxi leaving the Hyatt Pier straight over to Sand Harbor. It's going to be a free water taxi, or you can take a shuttle. There'll be shuttles and water taxis connecting Incline to Sand Harbor. And one more thing I want to mention about Sand Harbor, another itinerary all to itself is the Water Trails, which is an organization that is creating a trail inside the water that will be able to, for people in the future, you'll be able to know where you can eat, where you can camp. So just like the Rim Trail takes people around the rim, and it provides support with food and camping so that people pay a lot of money to go around the rim, which is happening on our weekend. People will now be able to be guided, supported, going inside around the water. And this water trail is forming up, and every year as they're building momentum at Sand Harbor, they launch a special guided kayaking from Sand Harbor Beach over here to Thunderbird Lodge, where Wattel lived with his he was the wild man that donated all this land to the state of Nevada. That's why we have a state park, because of Wattel. But this was his castle where he kept his lion to scare people. And you get to go over there and have an interpretive tour of the Thunderbird Lodge, which is the first year they've ever done it, and then kayak back. This is a $120 4-hour package, includes a lunch, but if you're with the expo, it's $84. They're doing a special for the expo, and that is a itinerary on its own. You would do that if you chose to. That starts at 8:30 in the morning. You would have to get to Sand Harbor, and I think they launch at 9 o'clock. And that includes the kayak, the rent, the food, everything. They have a nice barbecue. It's a great event. It would be something on its own. If you've never kayaked, that would be great to do. Then the Flume Trail is, if you're a mountain biker, there is a race over here at Spooner. We don't have transit for this, but these guys will be taking off about 8 in the morning, and they'll be doing the 12 miles of the Flume, the most scenic, amazing mountain biking you could ever do. And that's happening also on Saturday the 10th. You would have to get there by car or carpool, and we'll have information on the site. Then at 3 o'clock, you would leave whatever activity you're doing and drive, if you're coming this way, to Sand Harbor, or you could go to Incline Park at the Recreation Center, and there'll be shuttles moving everybody to Sand Harbor for Shakes and Beers, our Tahoe Expo kickoff party. At the Shakes and Beer party, there will be a concessionaire to help people that want to just try stand-up paddling. If you want to try stand-up paddling for the first time, or kayaking, you'll be able to do that. And then our edutainment will start. It will start with the Washoe. This is the one. The Washoe will be doing a sacred ceremony with the water they call Deme, and then followed by the Leafy Gaga and the Trash and Fashion Show. Then the Rappin' Rats have made a special song they're premiering for their commitment to Lake Clarity. And then there'll be Gina Bruno. Then we'll have Ask a Tohologist. Michael Cutt will be our game show host as we take the audience through a fun interaction to answer questions from the science and the academic scholars that will be there, experts. Gina Bruno, one of the top belly dancers in the country, will be shaking it for clarity. And then Jibuzo from the River School will be doing African drumming and dancing. And then we have PJ and the King Tide, which will round it out and do a whole jam. There'll be other sustainable demonstrations here. And at 8 o'clock, the shuttles, starting at 7, the shuttles will start moving people back to Incline. And that's our showcase of geotourism. And it's all free, except for some of the special large activities that
And local food and beer?
And then there's local food and local beer from local breweries, and there might be some fun competition around how local beer holds up with international beer. There also is a possible dance contest. We've already been given a few prizes, and we're not sure how we're going to use those prizes yet, but we have some prizes for people, and it'll be a lot of fun.
And shuttles taken out?
The shuttles will take you out starting at 7 and route you back to your car. If you choose to drive, it is $10 to park at Sand Harbor. Otherwise, it will be free if you're on a shuttle. We have gotten the force, Sand Harbor has waived the fee for anybody coming in on transit, and we will have a special list, of course, for the people that are part of our event.
That are cool.
Yeah. So that's, and the Washoe Weavers will be there doing weaving demonstrations. Sierra Business Council will be there interpreting people's day, their geotourism experience. And this, more than an event, is launching the economy of the things that stay here all the time. They don't leave after the weekend, but the difference is we're hosting and orienting people to to the magic of Tahoe in ways you can enjoy it. More people can enjoy more activities with zero harm. And it'll be zero waste also.